We are here at Americans for Prosperity's Defending the American Dream Summit, and we've been here on Radio Row for a while, and Pam Bondi, the Attorney General from Florida, has just stopped by, and I want to say thank you for taking a few minutes with GraniteGrok.
Thank you. It's great to be here, and I was also up in your great state of New Hampshire, and loved being there, loved the people, and this is such a great event this weekend.
This is, there's a lot of people that I've been interviewing and saying, what's your American dream? And contrast that with the Obama administration's version of that American dream. So let me start off this quick interview with you asking the same question. What is your version of the American dream?
Well, that's easy. As Chief Legal Officer for the state of Florida, my version of the American dream is believing in what our founding fathers believed in, which is limited federal government powers. And that is the complete opposite of what the Obama administration believes in. They believe that federal government should take over everything we do. And we are in our country, we're about bringing jobs, creating jobs, bringing jobs to our country. And contrary to what the president thinks, we built our jobs from the ground up, not the federal government.
Oh, absolutely. I think this is one of those times when I could say we are in a cold civil war. We are definitely looking at two radically different philosophies. Those are the founders and that of the progressive state. And I know that you're one of the leaders in trying to push that back. And where do you think that state of this war is at this point?
Well, of course, Florida took the lead with 25 other states, and we're very proud of that, and suing over the federal health care takeover. And folks can't forget we did win on two major issues, but we did lose, of course, on the tax issue. And so now, we had a president saying this isn't a tax, and now what do we know? It's one of the biggest tax increases in American history, and that's what we are stuck with because of empty promises from elected officials in D.C. And so we have to do everything we can to fight as attorneys general to protect our states from federal government overreach. And that includes, we'll sue the EPA, we'll continue suing the NLRB, we'll continue suing all of Obama's federal agencies if we have to. But the only way to stop this is to get him out of the White House.
Well, certainly I know that there are two good Republicans running for our governorship, Obed LaMontagne and Kevin Smith. And I think that if either one of them gets in, even though there's a Democrat for the Attorney General still in New Hampshire, even Obed LaMontagne has said, I'm a lawyer, I'll bring the suit myself as the governor.
Right.
So you'll get more help there. However, we are faced with two progressive Democrats who they're all in for this. So, what do we as ordinary citizens, be it Florida or even New Hampshire, and I know the laws are different and you can't speak to the New Hampshire laws, but other than campaigning for good candidates, what else can we do to throw sand into the gearworks?
Well, you know what? Exactly what's going on this weekend. People of like minds coming together and learning about the issues and sharing their experience and getting out to vote and telling their neighbors. And that's when I was in New Hampshire, that's what I was stressing to everyone up there, that they are the leaders. It's we the people, and it always will be we the people. And we're the ones who choose these leaders. And that's why New Hampshire is such an important state for our country. And that's why folks have to get out there. They have to become active. They have to stay active. They have to spread the word. And and I heard there's a very good likelihood that we may now have a Republican governor in New Hampshire, which would be wonderful. In New Hampshire, your Attorney General, of course, is appointed by the governor. In Florida, I'm elected in a separate independent statewide election.
One of the things that I will ask you is when you look across the country, 2010 was a really big election, and we saw the country flip, not just in the U.S. House, but in a lot of the state legislatures and all of that. Do you think the pendulum's going to go back the other way at this point?
I don't. I think it's going further our way. I really do. The enthusiasm that I'm seeing when I'm all over the country, the enthusiasm here that I'm seeing, the enthusiasm in New Hampshire and in Florida. I mean, Florida traditionally, we have been a red state, and we're going to go back to being a red state. And I really feel now with the unemployment rate at, what was it yesterday, 8.3.
8.3.
It keeps rising. It was 8.2 last week, and now it's up to 8.3. This is ridiculous, and we need to put someone in the presidency. We need to get members of Congress who believe in limited federal government, that the government doesn't own us, they don't own our jobs, and it's about helping our economy, revitalizing our economy, bringing successful businesses to our states, and employing our great Americans.
Other than Obamacare, obviously jobs is a big deal in the economy. What are some of the other danger signs that you see in Florida? Because as former U.S. Speaker of the House Tip O'Neill, a Democrat from Boston, used to say all politics is local, and we know that the politics that happen in my tiny hamlet are replicated all over the country. So the question I have is, what kinds of things do you see as danger signs for liberty and freedom-minded folks? Because that's what GraniteGrok is all about. We are your fire-breathing, hard-charging, gun-toting, except here in D.C. where they're not allowed, outspoken, rabble-rousing, freedom-loving blog site. Liberty and freedom is our most valuable thing. So what other things do you see that maybe you see from your lofty heights as an elected official, because we're just lowly bloggers, that are a danger to our constitutional values?
Well, everything that you just described just sounds like you believe, as our founding fathers believed, in the Constitution of the United States of America. And that's pretty basic, and that's what we all should believe, really, as Americans. In Florida, an issue that's very local to us is in Florida, I had to sue the EPA because they were holding Florida to higher water standards than any other state in the country, and it was unsustainable for our businesses. We would have lost businesses because of this. We sued them and we won on the major issue. So again, we will continue to keep the federal government out of our state as much as possible. The DEP, they were with us. Let our states do our job as we should. And I think we have different issues in each state, but all the attorneys general come together and we all join in with each other, just as the NLRB and Boeing in South Carolina.
Okay. Well, the virtual hook is starting to head towards my neck.
Okay.
So I think at this point you're a very hot commodity here on Radio Row at Americans for Prosperity's Defending the American Dream. Pam Bondi. Oh, I have not had enough Mountain Dew this one.
Pat Bondi, how's that?
I want to say thank you for taking a few minutes with GraniteGrok.
Thank you, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Take care.
Oh my.
GrokTV.